Breaking news. Stunning developments are coming out of Los Angeles. And Chargers fans, you need to hear this. A shocking twist has erupted behind the scenes. One that could completely reshape the franchise's future before the season even kicks off. This isn't rumor. This isn't speculation. It's a real storm hitting the heart of the Chargers organization. The Chargers' blueprint for 2025 may have just been ripped apart overnight. What looked like a season of promise and stability has suddenly been thrown into chaos. In a matter of hours, the headlines have shifted from confidence to crisis. And trust me, you'll want every detail of this, because the decisions on the table right now could either launch the Chargers toward glory or send them spiraling into disaster. But before we dive into the latest bombshell news, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and tap the bell icon so you never miss the updates that shake the NFL world. Now, let's get straight to it. The Los Angeles Chargers, known for dreaming of finally toppling the Kansas City Chiefs' dominance, are suddenly at the center of speculation, tough calls, and high-stakes moves that could define their entire season. We're talking about a devastating injury blow, the possibility of a defensive powerhouse reinforcement, trade rumors swirling around the receiving core, and even a heated dilemma in the running back room. This is the kind of storm that tests every decision a front office can make. One wrong step could end the season. One bold move could elevate the Chargers to an entirely new level. And then came the gut punch. The locker room went silent as news dropped that Rashawn Slater, one of the absolute cornerstones of the offensive line, is officially sidelined. This isn't just an ordinary setback. This is a seismic loss for a team whose entire offense relies on protecting their star, Justin Herbert, the quarterback carrying every ounce of hope for this franchise. For a team living in win-now mode under the relentless leadership of Jim Harbaugh, losing Rashawn Slater is nothing short of catastrophic. The offensive line was supposed to be the fortress, an unbreakable wall protecting Justin Herbert as the Chargers prepared to finally challenge Patrick Mahomes and the mighty Kansas City Chiefs. But when the wall cracks, the entire castle trembles. Still, the Chargers don't have the luxury of despair, and that's exactly why a shocking name has suddenly surfaced. A name that could flip this narrative on its head, Jadeveon Clowney. Yes, the former #1 overall pick. The same defensive force who suited up for the Texans, Seahawks, Titans, Browns, Ravens, and most recently, the Panthers. Now, let's be clear. Clowney at 32 isn't the same unstoppable wrecking ball he was when he first entered the league. But here's the twist. Just last season, he put up 5.5 sacks and 9 tackles for loss. Those aren't washed-up numbers. Those are the stats of a veteran who still knows how to make quarterbacks uncomfortable. And because the Panthers cut ties with him back in May, Clowney is available right now. Picture this. Clowney lining up next to Khalil Mack, while Joey Bosa, when healthy, adds his own explosive pressure. That's not just a pass rush. That's a nightmare for opposing offenses. This wouldn't just be about filling a gap. It would be a loud, defiant message to the rest of the league. Even with Slater sidelined, the Chargers are not folding. They're still coming for the Chiefs. And they're willing to move fast, bold, and aggressive to keep their Super Bowl hopes alive. And the whispers don't stop there. Word around the league suggests the front office might not just look at the defense. Justin Herbert's offense could be on the verge of a surprising boost, too. If there's one storyline that never seems to leave the Los Angeles Chargers, it's the constant buzz around wide receivers. Year after year, rumors swirl, and this season is no different. The latest name catching fire? Romeo Doubs of the Green Bay Packers. According to reports, a potential trade involving Doubs actually makes a lot of sense for both sides. Green Bay's receiver room is bursting with young talent after the 2025 draft, leaving Doubs stuck in the shadows. To make matters worse, last season he faced suspension for missing practice, clear evidence of his frustration with a reduced role in the Packers' offense. Meanwhile, on the West Coast, the Chargers have their own glaring need. The retirement of Mike Williams left a hole that no one saw coming. Keenan Allen is still a legend, but the clock is ticking on how much his body can endure the grind of another full season. Ladd McConkey has arrived with the makings of a future star. Trey Harris carries intrigue. But Quentin Johnston's struggles continue to raise red flags. He's even been benched in the preseason. That's why Doubs could be the missing piece. At just 25 years old, He brings exactly what Justin Herbert's offense is desperate for: youth, depth, and reliable production. His career numbers already tell a convincing story: 147 catches and over 1,700 receiving yards. That's proven consistency, and at a bargain compared to other trade targets. For the Chargers, this wouldn't just be another move. It would be a strategic strike, filling a critical gap, giving Herbert another trusted weapon, and showing the AFC West that they're serious about arming up for war. Romeo Dew hasn't even scratched the surface of his potential. And here's the stunning part: reports suggest he could be acquired for next to nothing. We're talking about a late-round pick, maybe even a seventh. That's practically pocket change for a young receiver who's already shown he can deliver on the field. Think about it: Los Angeles could offer Dew something Green Bay never truly did: a fresh start and the spotlight. In Justin Herbert's aggressive, high-powered offense, Dew wouldn't be fighting for scraps behind a crowded depth chart. He'd be stepping into a system begging for a reliable playmaker, with the stage wide open for him to shine. For the Chargers, it's more than a trade. It's a perfect match of needs. They require another weapon, and Dew craves the opportunity to prove he belongs as a key piece in a big-time attack. But just as the wide receiver situation looks like it could be solved with one bold move, a far trickier puzzle is emerging, and it could define the Charger season: the running back room. On paper, the plan looked brilliant. Bring in Najee Harris as the steady veteran presence, then add first-round sensation Amarian Hampton, a bruising young runner projected to become the future face of the backfield. Harbaugh and his staff believe they had struck the ideal balance between experience and raw talent. But this is the NFL, where plans rarely survive contact with reality. Instead of clarity, questions are piling up. And this battle in the backfield is quickly shaping into one of the most unpredictable storylines of the entire Chargers offseason. Inside this crowded backfield puzzle, one name has suddenly pushed its way into the spotlight: Kamani Vidal. Drafted in the 6th round just a year ago, Vidal was brought in as a long-shot gamble, a potential hidden gem the Chargers hoped might blossom into something special. But reality hit hard. Injuries derailed his rookie year, stealing valuable time and momentum. What was supposed to be a diamond in the rough story instead turned into a stalled beginning, with flashes of promise overshadowed by missed opportunities. Fast forward to 2025, and Vidal is fighting for redemption. Training camp gave glimpses of life: some sharp runs, extended usage in preseason snaps, more involvement than any other back on the roster. And yet, despite that extra workload, his role looks increasingly small when it comes to the starting lineup. That's why trade chatter has roared back to life. One scenario even paints a clear destination: the Jacksonville Jaguars, a team desperate for reinforcements in the backfield. The logic seems simple: swap Vidal for a 6th rounder, the same pick the Chargers originally spent on him. But here's the dilemma: is now the right moment to cut ties? Because just as his future feels most uncertain, Vidal might be on the verge of finally proving his worth. Moving him could mean giving away a player just as he's ready to take off. And this entire debate only grows louder when stacked against a far bigger mystery: the status of Najee Harris. The veteran was supposed to be the anchor, the steady hand to guide the room. But with Harris yet to take a single training camp snap, the Chargers' backfield picture grows murkier by the day. Najee Harris was signed to be the stabilizer, the veteran who could take pressure off the rookies. But the same question that haunted him in Pittsburgh has followed him to Los Angeles: durability. Harris has battled wear and tear his entire career, and the uncomfortable truth is that missing time this season cannot be ruled out. If that happens, the Chargers would be forced to lean almost entirely on Amarian Hampton. And while Hampton's talent is undeniable, trusting a rookie to shoulder the load in a win-now season is a gamble that could backfire. For a team trying to seize its moment, it's a razor-thin margin for error. That's why Kamani Vidal's heavy preseason usage is so intriguing. Is the coaching staff showcasing him to boost his trade value, letting the rest of the league see he still has juice? Or do they believe he's quietly carving out a legitimate role in this backfield? The answer could shape not only Vidal's career, but the very foundation of the Chargers' running game in 2025. Step back for a moment, and the pattern becomes clear. Every headline this offseason has been a domino effect. The loss of Rashawn Slater, may force the pursuit of Jadeveon Clowney. Mike Williams' shocking retirement opened the door for Romeo Dew rumors. And now the backfield uncertainty could either spark a trade or create a surprise contributor nobody saw coming. One thing is certain, Jim Harbaugh and GM Joe Hortis aren't standing still. Every move is calculated, every option on the table. The only question left is this: will the Chargers' bold adjustments be enough to finally knock Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs off their throne in the AFC West?